Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be previewing the Rugby Championship Round 6 match from New Zealand's Eden Park in Auckland, where the New Zealand All Blacks are taking on the Australian Wallabies in the second to last match in this year's Rugby Championship game. Well, it's great to have you all back, and for those people that are here for the first time, thank you for visiting my channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification, and you'll be reminded every time I drop a video. If you're a regular viewer to my channel, great to have you back on board again, and don't forget to leave your comments in the comments section about this video. Well, it's the second to last game of the Rugby Championship series this weekend. It's going to be played in the fortress known as Eden Park in Auckland, New Zealand, and it's where the New Zealand All Blacks are going to be taking on the Australian Wallabies. And let's start off by looking back at last week's incredible game that took place in Melbourne on Thursday night, and what a game it was, and still the controversy from that game flows over to this very day, in fact. Just before I start today, I want to show, first of all, a little bit of a press release that came out from Nigel Owens, the world famous Welsh referee, who put his 2 cents worth in on the stoppage and the penalty at the end of the game that saw the All Blacks winning the match. This is what Nigel Owens had to say about that particular incident. So there you go. I don't know whether you think that the world-class referee that Nigel Owens was got this one right, but that's the way that he saw it. The other thing that came out of that game last week was the horrendous tackle that Darcy Swan from Australia did on Tupaia from New Zealand. Tupaia now is going to be out of the game for the rest of the season with his knee injury, and Darcy Swan did something that we don't want to ever see again on a rugby field. He's been given 6-week ban starting today, and some would argue that's certainly not long enough for what he actually did on the field. The judicial panel have come out and said that there was no intent in the tackle. If you've seen that replay online, you probably have different thoughts about that. So the All Blacks came out winning 39-37, winning in the dying seconds of that match last week in Melbourne. Well, Eden Park is known as the fortress, and there's a reason for that, because over the last few decades the All Blacks have been basically unbeatable at this ground. I thought I'd put a few statistics together that you may not be aware of, and I'll go through those now in relation to Eden Park. So first of all, it's been 28 years since the All Blacks have lost a match at Eden Park, 47 matches unbeaten during that time, and they've beaten the Wallabies on 22 occasions at Eden Park. The average points difference between the All Blacks and Wallabies at Eden Park is 18 points in favour of the All Blacks, and there's been 12 nations that have come to Eden Park and failed in trying to win there over that period of time. And since rugby started at Eden Park, the All Blacks have a win record percentage of 86%. So it's a pretty impressive place, and I guess it's why it's been called the fortress. But I'm a believer that all records get broken sooner or later, whether or not it's going to be this Saturday night when the Wallabies come. I think it's going to be a very interesting battle. So let's go through some of the other things that have happened in the week. I guess a lot of talk around was what was the All Black selection process going to be, and in fact they just named their team a few minutes ago, and I've been waiting for that to come out before I can make any comments. There was some conjecture around whether Sam Cane would play in this game. He had a head knock, and of course he's had some bad concussion issues over the last couple of years, and he has been ruled out of this match, so he hasn't been selected in the 23-man squad to run on to the park on Saturday evening. So the 6, 7 and 8 positions in the All Blacks were ones of particular interest in this match, and it's come out this way. Akiri Ioni is coming in at number 6, Dalton Papiaya is coming in at 7, and Adi Savir is back after the birth of his child, where he took a week off last week. So New Zealand's going for strength and speed in the back trio, and let's see whether that's going to make a difference. The other selection interest, I think, is Cody Taylor's come back into the mix, and he's been out for a while, so it was interesting that he gets a run. And Geordie Barrett is going in at number 12. So I think this is something that's been prepped for a while to get Barrett into that second 5'8" position heading into the real Rugby World Cup year next year. And Ian Foster seems to think that he's got some tabs on that particular position. So Harvey is out and Sam Cane is out of the squad. The New Zealand All Blacks bench looks pretty strong as well, with some new faces in there. Sevu Reece comes back in there again, and I think he's really earned the spot to be back on the bench, and he's an impact player that can come on and win the game in the second half if that's what the All Blacks need to do. So the Wallabies are going to be without Darcy Swan. He's been given 6-match ban. And they're going to come to Eden Park, I think, with the tail between the legs, because the way that last match finished, I think for a few days afterwards, the Wallabies would have been hurting quite a bit. But I think they would have turned that round now, and I'm sure Dave Rennie's got them primed up to use that as motivation going into this weekend's match. As I said, sooner or later, the All Blacks have got to lose at Eden Park. Is it going to be this weekend? I don't think it's going to be. I think the All Blacks are going to turn on a good show for us this weekend. And I'd be hesitant to say they're going to win by that average differential of 18 points, but I think they're going to have at least 3 tries too good for the Wallabies on Saturday night. So, yeah, I just think the All Blacks are going to have too much on the Australians this weekend. I like the forward pack the All Blacks have got. They've been quite dominant at different times. Their line-out's working very well, so as long as they can get that ball and get it out quickly to the back line, I think the New Zealanders are going to have too much power in the backs for the Australians. A lot of complacency came in last week against Australia in Melbourne, where they had let a big lead slip away. I'm sure Ian Foster and the coaching team have got in their ears about that this week to make sure that if they do have a solid lead, that they keep their foot on the gas. They can't afford for the Australians to come back like they did in Melbourne. If they get a sniff of victory, they'll be very hard to stop. And it seems to be a trend with Australian teams against the All Blacks. When the All Blacks have big leads, the Australians always come back and give it a close call. So I think we're going to be looking for keeping the pressure on, and that's where I think those 15 points to 20 points advantage that I'm predicting for the All Blacks is going to come from. I think they're going to be very, very focused this weekend, and they're going to keep their pedal to the metal for the whole 80 minutes of this match. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is on this one, and I'm calling a big All Blacks win on Saturday night. I think the team's going to click in front of a capacity sold out crowd in Auckland at the Eden Park Fortress, and it's great to see that we've got 2 sellout crowds for the final of the Rugby Championship matches. Both the Argentina and South Africa game in South Africa and Durban has been sold out, and the All Blacks match at Eden Park has been sold out. Now, if we look at the Rugby Championship ladder as it stands going into this weekend, the All Blacks are only ahead by points differential, and the South Africans have got a good chance if they pick up a good win against Argentina with a bonus point in tow. The All Blacks are going to have to do the same. They're going to have to win comfortably, and they're going to have to get a bonus point, I think, to be assured of the Rugby Championship for this year. Also, looking at world rankings for a minute, and at the beginning of the week, the world rankings came out, and this is what it looks like this week, with South Africa in position number 3 and New Zealand in position number 4. Argentina and Australia, as you can both see, are further down the ladder, and all teams will be trying to make a difference this weekend to climb up in the Rugby World Rankings. So it's going to be a fantastic affair this Saturday night in Eden Park in Auckland, New Zealand. I'm picking the Kiwis to do it, and I'm picking them to have a healthy 15 to 20 point margin over the Wallabies by the end of the game. Very interested to hear what you think out there. Drop me a comment. Let me know, first of all, who you think is going to win this match, and what do you think the point score is going to be at the end of the game. Do you think the Wallabies are going to come to Auckland and do the unthinkable, or do you think the New Zealanders are going to put on a great display in front of their home crowd? The forecast for the weather in Auckland on Saturday evening at 7 o'clock local time kickoff is going to be for scattered showers, so there might be a little bit slippery ball, but we know what the New Zealanders did against Argentina in the wet. Whether or not they can duplicate that play, this is what's going to be on the line on Saturday night. So once again, we're looking to see whether the All Blacks can put back-to-back performances together. They got out of jail last time against Australia in Melbourne at the Marvel Stadium. Can they do it again this weekend at Eden Park, or are they going to put on a more impressive performance? Love to hear your thoughts. Drop me a note and let me know, and I'll be back with a video after the game on Saturday, and we'll do a review of all of the highlights of what happened during that match. Until then, stay safe everyone, stay well, and enjoy your rugby. Bye for now.